Hi everyone, today's video is about following your bliss, following your passion, and why most of us can't seem to do that. So, the other day, I was following my passion. So, the way it looks usually is that I am immersed in, I'm doing something that I want to do in the moment. Every part of me is involved. Time flies by. I'm completely in it. I love it. I'm having fun. And I'm, doing whatever I'm doing. And so I was, as that was happening, time was passing by. And then there was this moment where this part of me came up and started saying, oh, this is not productive. This is not going to make us money. What will people say? This is not what we should be doing. And this is too much fun. I mean, you can't make money while you're doing fun things, right? I mean, it has to be harsh and hard, right? And so when this part came up, with all its fears and all its, its doubts. Usually what happens is that people stop with their following their passion, and they start going into doing things that are hard, that should be done, obligation, etc., right? And this comes from a belief that you can't trust yourself. You can't trust that the universe will provide for you. You can't trust that you can be completely yourself in the moment, follow your passion, and actually survive in this world. That is not the way it is, according to this part, or according to a belief that most of us have, right? And so this is, when you're following your bliss, whatever it is, in that moment, if a thought like that comes up, if a doubt like that comes up, it's not bad. It's actually a very, very good sign. Because in that moment, you can heal it. It's very normal that when you follow your bliss, you have these doubts that creep up. And that the more you do that, the less of that you'll have, by the way. The more you follow your bliss, the less doubts you'll have. Because at some point, you'll have more and more evidence that the more you follow your bliss, the better you feel. Your nervous system comes down. You start having incredible ideas. You start meeting people. Things happen from the outside. It's like everything, starts working, and, it's put in, everything goes in its own, in its place, and everything works out. Right? You start seeing more and more of that. But also you need to take in the doubts, because the doubts are not there to sabotage you or to go against you. The doubts are there because there are parts of you that are not on board yet. There are parts of you that still believe that, they can't trust the universe, that nobody's going to provide for them. And these parts, they're parts that are in pain. And when you follow your bliss and you soften, you start feeling better, etc. It's like these parts are like, oh my God, we can come out and heal. And that's why I'm saying it's good. And the more you take in those parts, the more you take them in, so you start listening. So for example, in that moment, I really felt into it. So I started saying, okay, so I could see this one person in my life that represents the inner judge, the harsh judge. And I could see that person in my life, in my mind's eye in that moment, judging me. So I felt into that. And as I felt that judgment, it just went away. And suddenly I realized that, you know, there are moments where I judge myself. There are moments that maybe I did not show that person that when I'm following my bliss, I'm actually doing a lot of work, right? It's in that moment that I realized that maybe that person actually judges me that way, right? Maybe, I mean, that's their responsibility, right? But what did I show them in that moment? And many times, you know, when we follow our bliss, we're ashamed of that because things are so easy. Things are so fun. So we tend to hide them. And so we don't show other people how in that moment, how much work we've done, how many ideas we got, and all that. It's like, it's almost like we're ashamed, you know, I mean, that was a little bit too easy, you know. So it's almost shameful to show, no, it's not almost shameful. It seems shameful to show that certain things can go with flow. But no, we have to show everywhere that, you know, everything is very difficult, everything is very negative and all that, right? So we can go on to the completely opposite side of the spectrum, right? And so in that moment, I realized that I wasn't showing that person what was actually happening when I followed my bliss. And maybe if she came up in that moment, it's because by me showing that, maybe it's an information for her. I don't know. Because it's not only about me, it's about her, it's about other people, right? But the most important thing is that in that moment, I show up as I am, and then that person decides whatever they want to decide in that moment, right? But I do my do. That's the idea in the moment, right? And so when, after going through all of that, the shame that came up, the doubts, etc., it didn't, for me in that moment, it didn't take long. But at the beginning, you know, as you start, you may get assailed by all these doubts, and it's okay. Use them as bridges. Tell yourself that each one of them is getting you closer and closer, to living purely in your passion. Like make it a mantra, write it somewhere so that you can remember. And then as you go on and as you follow your bliss more and more, as you follow your passion, as you know, really become more and more genuinely yourself moment by moment, and you listen genuinely to yourself, to your needs, to your wants, and to your passions and all that, and then what will happen is that these doubts become very rare, almost rare at some moments. For example, the last time it happened, I was like doing it for hours, and then in the end I got these doubts, and you know, they just came and went, and I was like, okay, thank you, you know, thank you for coming up. And so yeah, follow your passion, follow your interests, and start listening to the doubts and use them as stepping stones to become more and more anchored in your passion, to become more and more a person that follows, you know, your inner guidance moment by moment. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know down below, and see you in my next video.